All right, guys, in this lesson, I'm going to be talking about formant shifting your vocals because you can do a lot of interesting stuff. So let me show you really quickly what I'm talking about. I have this vocal right here.
In the back of your car, I'm staring in your rear view.
So if you change it to Stretch Pro inside of FL Studio, and by the way, almost every single DAW has their different way of getting to a formant shifter. Ableton has a really great one as well. And there's a few plugins that do formant shifting, but just keep in mind, every algorithm isn't the same per se. What a formant shift is going to do, it's going to change like the tone and texture of a voice, but it's not going to change the key of the voice, right? So like, for example, if I were to
in the back of your
pitch this
car,
down,
in the back of your car, I'm staring.
it sounds different, but it changed keys. But what formant shifting is going to do is going to make it sound different, but you can keep in the key. So if it's already working with your song, you don't have to shift your whole song. So I'm just going to move this formant knob so you can hear what it sounds like on different formants.
in the back of your
Car, I'm staring in your rear view. In the back of your car, I'm staring
staring in your rear view, hoping I can catch a glimpse.
of you. Hope you look.
I'm going to play a few different examples.
I got the bag of the juice, I got the bag in the cool, I got the patty on wool,
I got the stash in the boob and I'm thumbing, I'm
thumbing up front of the tool. I got the drum in the
Playing funnel team. I've been on the move. I've been on the loose.
I've been on the move, I've been on the loose, I've been on the scene, niggas think it's sweet.
But I'm playing keeps and playing for the league. I'm sure you know what it means.
So as you can see, it really changes how the vocal sounds dramatically. I'm gonna show you some cool applications of this so you can use it in your music. So here's a cool example of like a hip hop, like R&B trap song that I made.
Right now, touchdown. I came, bust down, clock in.
But the interesting part is right here when this, it's the same singer Sage who works with us, but he did a different rap part and I pitched it around in a different way and it sounds like a completely different person.
Lighting up the room, let's assume. Cashing out the loot. Pop out the cocoon, make some room. Smoking out a fume.
And here was the problem with this record specifically. So the song is in F sharp minor, and I essentially needed to bring this vocal right here.
Lighting up the room, let's assume.
I needed to bring it up 400 cents to get it in key, which sounded like this.
lighting up the room, let's assume, cashing out the loot.
And in this scenario, I needed to get this vocal to match with the key of the song, but to get to the key of the song, he kind of sounded too chipmunky. So when I changed it to Stretch Pro, I was able to pitch it up and then bring the format back down to sound a little more, human. So instead of this,
Lighting up the room,
Stretch Pro.
Lighting up the
lighting up,
So then I can play with the format and find a different spot.
lighting up the room.
let's assume. Cashing out the loot. Pop out the cocoon, make some room.
So as you can see, when I started playing with that format, I pitched it down a little bit. Instead of that little chipmunky voice, I was able to make him sound, honestly, he almost sounds like T-Pain or something.
Lighting up the room, let's assume. Cashing out the loot. Pop out the cocoon, make some room.
Versus the chipmunk once again.
Lighting up the room, let's assume, cashing out the loot. Pop out the cook.
And in EDM, I kind of like doing the high pitch thing. I think it's cool. But when it comes to hip hop and stuff, I wanted something to be a little more like sounds like the actual rapper, actual singer. So that little formant trick was actually a really nice way to bring it into key. And that's like the first way I'd say you can use formants is oftentimes when you're shifting vocals, if it gets a little too chipmunky and stuff, you can actually bring it down. So here, I actually have a song where I have this female singer who's amazing, but for the drop, I wanted it to sound a little different, a little distorted, weird. So I processed formants a little differently for the drop. Let me show you what she sounds like regular.
Get on my skin when you pull me closer, pulling me in. Heads on a spin.
And then here was the part that I sampled actually.
My body's calling for you, calling for you, calling for you.
Okay, but if I go over here, listen to the drop and how I shifted the format down.
My body's calling for you, calling for you, calling for you. My body's calling for you.
See, you hear how it's...
My body's calling for you.
I do it just a subtle amount. Like if you look at it, I've barely moved it.
My body's calling for you.
But without that, here's what it would sound like.
My body's calling.
You can almost think about it as like changing the voice from just having like a female tone to a little bit of a male tone, if you really think about it. But instead of pitching it down, like I said, I keep it in the same key. And it just really gives sometimes your drops, choruses, other parts of your song an interesting texture.
My body's calling.
So it's like different than the intro.
My body's calling for
Right? The intro is a little much softer and stuff, and then when we bring the energy up, it just pitches down just a little bit, and that could be a really interesting application of using formants. I'm going to show you a couple more scenarios where I use formants to really shift up a song. Another example of really where I like to use it is actually on vocal chop. So here I have a vocal chop. So I didn't do it on this song, but I can quickly showcase the example. What I often like to do is when I have a vocal chop, I will take it, I'll start messing around with the formants to get a different tone for the drop. As you can see, you can do some really cool stuff just playing with the formants of vocals, and you get some interesting textures. Let me see if I can find one more example of this. Okay, so here's just a little project file I was playing around with. I had this like really sick vocal from a singer in Atlanta. I'll play it real quick.
Boy, I like to shop, I want Chanel Versace. Boy, I like to eat, I want sushi at me.
But for the drop, I wanted to do some weirdness. So I did some weird processing, but I wanted to, like, I was playing around with like a different way this song could sound. And I actually got this vocal chop and I used a formant shifting trick and I made it sound like a little bit more male singerish. I would say not male singer. I gave it a little bit of a deeper tone with the formant. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys how I can get different tones out of this with this example as well, just by shifting the formant as it's playing. So as you can see, it can like honestly dramatically change based on the format. And another way I use this sometimes is actually for mixing, because in some scenarios, let's say if the vocal is sitting in a certain range, when you shift the format down, it's shifting the frequency range down. You can essentially get vocals and different things to sit in different pockets. So this can also be a very interesting mixing trick, because in some scenarios, let's say if I have a lot of busy frequencies on the high end and you want the vocal to sit like slightly lower, or you have a bunch of frequencies low and you're trying to push the vocal up in the mix, watch how on the higher end of the format, the vocal actually sits mostly up here on this higher end, but then as I go down here, you're going to see it shift more lower. So you can kind of like get different mixes on stuff just based on the format. You see how, look, a lot of the high end is gone. And it'll come back when I raise it back up. So sometimes the way I use this is if I'm thinking about the different pockets of other sounds in the mix that's sitting there, I can kind of shift the vocals to see if it'll fit in a certain pocket. And that's where formants can be really great for. So think about a format as almost like a different way of pitching, where it's not going to pitch the entire song per se. It's just going to pitch the frequencies in a way that feels like pitching something down, but it's not. It's staying in key. And it can be a really cool creative sound design tool. It's a cool way to stack vocals as well. And let me show you real quick how I can take this layer right here, pitch it up. It gets too squeaky, so I'm gonna take the format. And I can actually pitch this around. And then now I can layer it with the original.
Boy, I like to shop, I want Chanel Versace. Boy, I like to eat, I want sushi at me.
You can do like cool things.
Boy, I like to shop, I want. Boy, I like.
By the way, it doesn't sound always great when you pitch it down.
Boy, I like to shop, I want
Chanel Versace.
See, like, listen to how cool that one is. That's just the down layer.
Boy, I like to shop.
And now I'm actually going to pitch down the main layer, or I'm sorry, I'm going to turn down the main layer to let this this layer shine.
Boy, I like to shop. I want Chanel Versace. Boy, I like to eat. I want sushi at home. Boy, I like to shop. Boy, I like to shop. I want Chanel Versace. Boy, I like to eat. I want sushi at home. Boy, I like to shop.
Just like that, you're able to kind of reinvent a hook, reinvent a chorus. And sometimes if you're producing or you're a singer, you want different parts, right? Like maybe I want, you know, her singing regular here.
I said I want it all. How long your car go? How fast your car go? Oh.
Then
Boy, I like to shop, I want Chanel, Versace.
actually, let me try this. I'm gonna bring the regular one in.
Boy, I like to shop. I want Chanel, Versace. Boy, I like to eat. I want sushi. I want me.
Boy, I like to shop, I want Chanel, Versace. Boy, I like to eat. I want sushi, I want me.
As you can see, I'm just having a little fun here. I'm playing around with this project and showing you how formant shifting can really change the tone and allow you to explore new areas when it comes to vocals with your production. And it's a really powerful tool. It's something I don't use every single song, but it is something that I pull out occasionally to either explore a new sound with the vocal, a new tone with the vocal, push your vocal chops into more interesting places, make choruses or other parts of the song sound different, especially sometimes if you're working with limited resources, like let's say a single vocal, and you want to try to push it into interesting areas. It could be a really cool trick that I use a lot. The exercise for this video is easy. We've included an acapella below. Download the acapella, build a song, but instead of using whatever pitch it is originally, use the pitch to match your song. But then I want you to go into the formants and find a way to creatively apply the formant to the vocal and make it sound like something new and special. And I would recommend to play around with a few different types. Try it on singers, on male singers, female singers, but you can actually change. Like sometimes you can have, if you want a more female sounding voice, you can change a male singer to sound a little bit more female, and vice versa. You can also make female singers have a little bit deeper of a tone, like a more of a male tone, which when it comes to production can give you just more options for making your song. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson on vocal formants, and see you guys in the next one. Peace out. If you guys liked this video, it is actually a module from my free course, The Art of Sampling, where I dive into everything you need to know on how to make really incredible music by using sampling. It's something I've been doing for 13 years, and I'm really excited. And by the way, there's exercises and download files, so if you don't want to miss out on really what this course has to offer, click the link below. It is all free. And if you like The Art of Sampling, it's actually a part of a bigger online music program called The Art of Music Production. So when you click the link below, you can check out not only The Art of Sampling for free and some of our free courses, but if you're interested, you can also check out The Art of Music Production. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure you check out the full Art of Sampling.